to see a more aggressive option than the Gnar for Robo. If you can't get your hands on the Renekton, we've still got things like Olaf, like Aatrox, one of those kind of champions that can really take over the game.
Okay, now this draft is looking very, very different in the ban phase already. Loud have banned Rakan. Check. Good job. Nailed that one, guys. The Sejuani still banned away. The Xayah removed by Red, clearly expecting the B1 there for Root to take it down. And the Azir is the final lock. Ooh. So now for Loud, they've got a lot of options actually here to go for B1.
Yeah, lots of power up and available. You've still got the Rel that was banned in game 1 by Loud on Red side if they want to go for it. You've also got Kai'Sa without the traditional counter pick of the Xayah. Other things for Red that you have to be careful of on 1-2 as well. You've got the Ivern still up and available. I personally did not think the Ivern was the biggest problem in game 1. I thought it was annoying. Aegis's Ivern is good, but really to me, it was about that bottom lane. And there's the other pick that's really critical. That big ol' Renekton getting picked up, and now Robo might have to go to something like the Jax to counter this.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, I wasn't expecting them to B1 the Renekton, but like it's not banned. They it got banned in second ban rotation in game 1, right? Didn't touch the rotation at all. And they decided to preempt it from FNB. So he is not just sitting back, slotting into the FNB. He's got the Renekton. Rel Jax?
Show me Rel Jax, Trajan. Yep. Rel Jax right here. Don't think about it. It's really strong. You've got flex potential if Croc wants to play the Rel for the first time. I think this should be a really obvious 2-3 from Loud, unless they wanted to go towards something different in top lane. They could maybe save that pick. You also have things like LeBlanc up and available, but that's not been Tinone's favorite throughout the split.
Yeah, he's not gone back to it too many times. When he has picked it up, he has shown us good things on this champion, and we know that, you know, it's been nerfed time and again. The Static Shift Night Harvester combo's been nerfed. It has been quietly tamped down time and again. Good. And instead, it is the Neeko. So they've got the Rel-Neeko combination. They are now putting together still a very fearsome teamfight combination. And Red, they've got the Ivern, they've got the Renekton. Not as much clear identity forming just now, as the Ahri hover would still leave it pretty much up in the air.
If the Ahri gets locked in, it's at least a bit more of a mid-game focus, but I will say, these two champions really awkward with Ivern. A lot of times when I think of Ahri Renekton, I'm thinking of the Nidalees, the Vi's of the world, to set up those more aggressive plays. A little bit more of an anti-synergy. I think Titan needs to pick up a really big-time carry, something like the Aphelios that we've seen him go towards this split, and I would like to see Loud ban those out. On the other side, obviously Robo dropping the top lane counter in favor of the Neeko pick. I think I like it overall, but we'll have to see what he goes down to. I think Jax would make sense as the ban here from Red. Maybe Robo just goes on to something like the Gnar. He could also play something like Poppy. He's got one game of it so far this split.
Yeah, there is the Jax ban, as you expected, really trying to give this Renekton the best lease at life up in that top side. The Alistar banned by Loud. Titan, if he needs to go for this hyper carry to really be the late game win condition for this team, he doesn't have Kai'Sa or Xayah as these self-sufficient champions that can go late while also protecting themselves. The Aphelios doesn't have as much in the way of ability, the way of peel. You know, it's got healing, but someone, if it gets caught out, it's going to be tough. The Braum denied. So one of those safety supports taken away. It's a Nautilus for Frosty, and we're going to have to go down to the last pick to see what Titan's answer is.
That's a good Braum ban. It really discourages the Aphelios. Maybe now you just look towards something like Zeri. Titan only has 5 champions played on this split, by the way. Aphelios, Kai'Sa, Xayah, Zeri, and Kog'Maw. I do not expect to see Kog'Maw come out. So if you want to go for Aphelios, you are being pretty risky into a favorable 2v2 for Root and Seos. Remember, that was one of the big win conditions that we set up for Loud for this series. It did not come true in game 1. They were counterpicked. They had the Xayah into Kai'Sa matchup. It was not very good. So now Kai'Sa into Aphelios, something like that, much more favorable for them. Should hopefully be some playmaking potential for the consistent 2v2 duo of Loud.
As the Croc turn coming back in here for Loud on that side. So much engaged. The Rel, the Kai'Sa, the Neeko, the Nocturne, everyone can be diving in hard at whatever Titan picks. And here's the Aatrox. This top lane, I think it's going to be spicier than game 1, Hawk.
Yeah, look, Aatrox, not the best champion in a Renekton. In fact, a lot of people comfortable to pick the Renekton into this matchup, but I wanted to see something more aggressive out of Robo. I'm glad it's not a Poppy. This guy's got to be on a playmaker, and I've got to be honest, I know I meme about Crocturn, we all do, but I like it here, especially up against what is now a very aggressive Red composition. It's not Aphelios, it's a Lucian.
It's not about bridging to late game, Hawk. There is no late game. We're just not going to go late.
Absolutely no
We're
late
going to
game.
win in 22 minutes, or we'll see you in game 3, I guess. I love this, actually, because instead of bridging, and we've seen comps like this before, right, in the playoffs, where they've got this mid-game strong kind of, we're going to win on top side through mid-top jungle, and then it's going to set up the bot carry for success. It just hasn't been working for CBLOL in the playoffs so far. Just have everyone go on the same archetype. Full synergy between all 5 champions, and now Loud do have some scaling advantage on their side, I would wager, but they are going to have to go toe-to-toe with a vicious mid-game combination out of Red.
They really will. I mean, Red has just completely flipped the script. I think in game 1, they saw how hard they outplayed Loud in the mid game, and they were like, wait, what if we just win then? And that's what they're doing. They slam down the Lucian, Ahri, Renekton. It is going to be explosive. My one concern, despite the Ahri coming through, the mid-jungle 2v2 for Loud again favors them. Nico Nocturne is incredibly threatening. When you throw in a Rel Kai'Sa to the mix, Loud has options to be able to fight back. Every single lane is going to be Armageddon. All eyes on what Aegis can do pre-6 before the paranoia comes online. Because once that tool comes through, Nocturne becomes the best counter-ganking champion in the entire game.
Yeah, it's going to be very much on Aegis to show us why the Ivern is here instead of like a Vi or a Wukong or something else that is traditionally more active and engaging in this early and mid stage where the rest of Red wants to play. So let's see what Loud can do. Let's keep an eye on the top lane. We're expecting these two guys to get unleashed up there, both peaking on their way into playoffs, and they're going to show us why in game number 2. And then the bot lane as well. We've got a Lucian in playoffs, baby. No Aphelios here, no Jinx, no Ezreal. We're getting stuck in with Titan.
And Trajan, can I just say, I'm glad we got those game 1 jitters out, because this is the kind of draft we were expecting from these two teams.
Yeah.
Gloves off, get in the mud, and brawl. These two teams entering the octagon of Summoner's Rift, and already things getting started at level 1 once again. No Summoner spells blown this time, but clearly the aggressive mindset is there.
Okay, so we have this Lucian Nautilus. You almost never see Lucian Nautilus, right? Before you'd have it paired with certain enchanters like Nami or maybe Milio or something like this. We never see it with the engagers, even though of course it does have very good mobility and burst damage to follow up on the engage from the support. So Frosty with this unorthodox combination almost potentially had a punish onto Sales, but I think stepped out of the bridge, out of the brush just there. And it will just be the vision for Loud.
Yeah.
So let's see how this 2v2 goes, right? Because Kai'Sa plus Engage is traditionally like the most I burst you a level 2 combo that the game has.
And it's going to be a really explosive 2v2. You know, Lucian got changes a few patches ago. His passive now procs off of CC, so he's able to be played with things other than Nami and Milio again, finally. Yeah. But I will say, it's not necessarily the hardest counter to Kai'Sa. Whichever one of these 80 carries gets ahead is just going to absolutely blast the other one, because they both have so much all-in threat, and they're both very long range. There's no, short range rather. There's no safety in this bottom lane. When one of them gets going, they will not be stopped, but it's not a guaranteed advantage for Lucian either. So really, eyes on Frosty and Seos. How are they going to play in this 2v2 to set up their marksman for success?
Gonna have to be a skill matchup down there. Frosty looking excellent in game 1 on that Rakan. They've got the level 2 first, and Root and Seos are still in melee range. What's going on, guys? Flash in from Titan as level 2's achieved by Loud. But Seos, I don't know, is that a bad judgment call? Just a mistake on the hands? The 1v2 is not looking good there.
I think it was a miscommunication from Loud. That last melee minion was one auto from going down, but Root didn't hit it, so Seos never hit level 2 for that little fight. I think he thought that the spike would come out. It did not. It gives Red control. Fortunately, the kill does not go down. In fact, Summoner spells actually trade up for Loud. So a mistake might end up helping them, as we do see a mismatch jungle clear. Croc is heading down this way with no Aegis to cover.
Perhaps a little bit more on the jitter side for Loud bot lane there. Taking a bad trade. Let's see how they deal with it as Aegis heading up to this top side where FNB has decidedly regained control of this lane. As you said during the draft, Hawk, something that Renekton should be comfortable with into this Aatrox. You got a little nerf on this patch to the Darkened Blade damage, but nothing to knock him out of the meta.
Yeah.
Whoever's going to have to weather this storm for the time being.
Yeah, make no mistake, despite the nerf, Aatrox still very, very strong with those AD Duskblade style of builds. And similar to the bot matchup, It's slightly Renekton favored, but whichever one of them gets ahead is going to dominate the matchup. Aatrox from ahead is extremely oppressive in the lane phase with his ability to poke you out with a low cooldown Q once he gets towards that level 9 spike. But Aegis just dodged vision. Tinones thinks he's safe because his jungler's in the river, but the root missed.
Yeah, and that's pretty much just luck at that point, right? You just don't know which way he's going to walk. Aegis doesn't find the Q, and Tinones will be able to clear this wave
Aegis
up.
just was shown going top. Look at Crocky's on the side.
Flashing from Seos, they've got the combo there, and Titan's got no flash remover. They're just turning onto Root. Croc's still waiting. He doesn't have ult yet. He can't get over the wall. He can't just walk past the tower. And Root's dropped low, but this play might not be done. They could just go for round 2.
Yeah, it's fine, though, because Aegis is not here. He's going to have to run through mid to get here, and they trade health bars. Sure, you lose out Root's flash, but Titan can't defend without HP to thwart the dive. Frosty is double dog daring them to come in. Envy has the teleport. This would be an overdive from Loud, but wisely, they just go for the plate. A rare moment of restraint from Croc & Co. gets them a nice advantage without any bloodshed.
I love Frosty just standing chest to chest with Croc under the tower like, auto attack me, bro. Do it, I dare you.
That's pretty Giga Chad.
If you
I'm not gonna
split
lie.
the tower right now, you're gonna die because I'm gonna root you onto this turret. Please just click my model as Aegis has arrived. Both on vision though, the jungler's scrapping out behind the tower as a root lands onto Seos. Big damage through from Titan, perhaps if you can get in range. Dashes in with a relentless pursuit, but just doesn't have room for the autos. As the junglers now Envy rotating down. Tinones is TPing onto the bot lane tower. Frosty wants to get stuck in here, but the rest of Red aren't quite so sure. And now he's feared away by the Nocturne. Comes back down with the crash down, and Tinones for the final kill. It's a first blood for Root. Titan slips away over the wall. Tinones flashes but doesn't find an E as he put himself on the wrong side of town. Aegis has got the shield, but dips on Titan, goes in for Seos instead. And Root snipes Titan with a Void Seeker. What is going on? Envy finds another, and now Tinones in the 1 versus 2. The Charmer's on cooldown, misses the Root. Aegis, oh my god, he exploded! Aegis died, he popped like the Blossom, and Tinones going lower again. What's the Charm cooldown? It's got to be back soon. He's got no flash. Envy has the mana. There's the Root. There's the Charm, but he doesn't have enough for a Q. And Envy desperately wants, he gets the W. There's the kill, and the tower shot can't do it.
There's a fight top.
As top lane, they're 1-2
up there.
Renekton is going crazy, and the ult's going down. What is happening? Is he gonna get the double? It's just the 1 and the 1 versus 2. I can't, Hawk. I can't. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I can't do this.
What the hell just happened? That's the CBLOL, baby. If you're a first-time viewer, this is what we've got every single weekend. It's a crazy scrap in bot lane. FNB somehow killed the enemy jungler in a 1v2 as well. At the end of it all, it's Red that comes out ahead in the kills, but Loud had better wave state, so gold is still really even. I'm not even going to attempt to analyze that, Trajan. Let's just bask in the glory of this replay, as remember, it was Loud that made the initial proactive play, but Red was able to commit members first. However, the overextension comes through from them as they chase into the choke point. TP from Tinones arrives. Initial kills go Loud's way, but in the extended fight, Loud just doesn't have that much damage at this point in the game. The health bars as well are lower, and Envy, with this already short early game cooldowns, just able to consistently clean up these kills. Ultimately,
I'm
3 for 3
right now. I'm
in
like,
bottom.
what's going on up there?
So top lane, FNB is proxying Robo. Croc says, hey, you're not allowed to do that, and then I'm just going to assume he just freaking dies, man.
Yeah, I think FNB just hit 6. And Croc's level 4,
yeah, so
and he
this
just
is
gets
level 4
minced.
Nocturne.
He gets diced up.
Huh.
Okay.
I mean,
okay, man.
What do we even have to say? This is the CBLOL that we know and love. Crazy fighting. We called it the Octagon of Summoner's Rift when this game started, and that is absolutely proving true. They'd have it all. It's actually Loud with the advantage again, despite the kills not going their way. Dragon still on the map. No objectives were taken during that sequence. We've also got Herald spawning in 8 seconds. It's Loud with bottom lane priority off of that. Remember how we talked about the snowball that can happen in bot? Root did get 2 kills, Trajan.
Yeah, and the mid game package for Red has a couple of strong bits, right? Ari's looking good, Renekton's looking good after those plays, but Titan is 26 CS down with no kills. He is not going to be feeling good about going into this mid game, and this is the AD carry that has to be good early and mid. He's not going to be the late game condition. He can't just sit back and scale up and get back into this game.
And let's remember as well that despite how explosive we expect this mid game to be, Loud does have better scaling, so this game being close favors them. Not only that, their solo lanes may be ahead, but I favor the Kai'Sa over anything in this game. Behind Lucian is going to be very useless, Trajan, so it is a little bit concerning. Red, they are going to leverage that solo lane pressure into this Herald, the more valuable of the two early game neutral objectives, but Newton's Law of League of Legends, for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. It's another play and bot for Loud.
Absolutely going to keep zoning Titan away. He was pivotal for Red in game 1, is now being held underwater by Loud. They are not letting him get a breath in. As Tino's rotating down as well, the plate's just chipping away. He just rotates down with FNB left to deal with the Herald on his own.
This
just
is
enough to turn this down.
This is aggressive.
4v4 under a tower. Frosty goes low, but the knockup is good from the Nautilus. Loud maybe trying to piece out, but the CC is there. They're not going to get the chance. Killing spree for Envy. He's already somehow, but he spirit rushes over the wall. He's going to get the resets. He's got a blue buff to work with, I think. Dodges away from the Pot Blossom. The Ignite ticks him lower. He just slips away as Titan, now weak as he is, can do no more. Root picks up a kill.
But it's a blunder from Loud. They're the ones that needed to trade up in the mismatch play. They do not. In fact, it's 2 for 1 in favor of Red. Titan still is the one that ends up suffering for it, but Envy starting to get pretty out of hand on this Ahri. Let's see if he's able to perform on it. We've seen a lot of mixed Ahri games so far in the CBLOL split. Players like Dean Cato have been phenomenal on it, but there's been a lot of Ahris that have gotten strong and not been able to carry. It's fallen out of the meta for a reason, so we'll see how this one's able to go. But first, Paranoia definitely did not net an advantage for Loud, and we may not be done as the Dragon has been started.
Loud first on the recalls here. Coming off the fountain, quick shot back to the Dragon, but they won't commit to it. He's big. He is absolutely gigantic on the Kai'Sa. He does have that static shift first, so he doesn't have as much of a boost from that first item spike that other picks have, but he's got to get to that second and third item spike so quickly. And look at Titan's inventory. That's nothing, man.
Yeah, that is brutal. He's almost a full item behind at 11 minutes into the game. That is horrendous positioning for the Red ADC as far as gold and value is concerned. And not only that, as well, Red, again, they're ahead in kills, but Envy, despite being 4-0, has dropped so many mid waves that this Ahri is, well, strong for sure. Not that fed, at least as much as you would think. Look at the farm numbers between mid laners and then Root, Robo, and FNB. A pretty different story. So Red, they've been forced to play defense so much with the composition that you would expect to go on offense. The situation still finds themselves down 1,000 gold.
Yeah, like they're making the best out of what have been some slightly scrappy exchanges from Loud, but they are certainly still not coming out looking super good with it. Croc does have the ultimate hovering behind mid lane right now. We might see that Nocturne start to get more active on the map to punish people like FNB, for example, who's just dropped himself a Herald into this top side. Robo trying to clear the wave out. FNB's got the plates, and he's going to get out of there.
FNB is getting pretty strong as well with that kill. He's got the highest farm in the game and some turret plates to his name. Croc does have the Paranoia back up and available. The first one, again, pretty bad, but didn't get punished after the fact. Let's see how they're able to utilize this one, because I would like to see Loud still try to leverage some advantage. Maybe Robo can find one.
A tough trade for FNB there. Dodges up from the one Dark and Blade, flashes from the other, and Robo will take that Summoner away with a smile. Down as he is, still threatening with that Aatrox. You can't forget about him.
Yeah, that's one of those advantageous lanes for Red, but the Aatrox does outscale in this one-on-one. I don't think Robo's totally there yet, but playing that round better, getting the flash off of FNB, and it's giving more time. Aegis forced to cover, but Loud gonna go in bot. It's a cross-map play. Let's see if Robo can get out.
Oh, Robo flashes away from the root, drops the chains onto FNB, but he walks straight out of it. And I think with a long road to safety, Aegis can stop him. Has the blast cone there. This is going to be time wasted with a play on bot lane. Loud again answering, but Envy with the TP completely diffuses the situation. As Robo, I'm noticing, is not dead yet. The wave is arriving, but he's got a tower to play with.
Robo just should be able to base. Yeah, FNB not going to be able to push this one in, so no dive to come through. And now, Loud, they've got round 2. FNB has teleport if he can get back to base, but he's not there yet.
Oh, Titan, the full committal ultimate. He jumps so low from Root before the Nocturne ult even there. But FNB's here to save the day as Croc goes lower. Root on 100 HP. They'd love to get that shutdown onto these mid-game
He might
carries.
kill him, though.
Envy wants it with a W speed. Up comes him with a charm. Doesn't find it. The Spirit Orb as well. Root firing back. The fancy footwork from the Kaiser. He's around the corner again. He's looking for the kills, the madman, as Aegis now can come through. Frosty with a hook, gets the heal, and Root is going to fall. Somebody gets it as Aegis connects, but it's a bot turret as well. The fights, man, are just too insane this game.
Oh my god, Trajan, this is the most ridiculous game I have seen in a long time, as Loud is finding every possible way to muck up a bot lane dive and yet is still ahead in this game. I mean, what is happening? Again, it was Red making the play in top. So Loud knows they have the 5v3 in bottom, but the fight is diffused for long enough in top that FNB can TP. And with the health bars being so low, Loud not able to tank up the tower. They lose too much HP. And Root, I respect the confidence. He knows how much damage he's doing to Envy. He's got the fancy feet. Steps back up for the Q, but Frosty still here, hits the dredge line that ultimately results in his demise. Now, the shutdown does ultimately go to Aegis, which is not exactly where you would want it. I'm sure Titan right now is thinking, man, I could do with an extra 550 gold, but it's still something going back the way of Red, and Aegis now having that Shurelya's online as well.
And there was another kill for FNB after all that. Does manage to crack that top lane tower eventually. As the laning phase seems to have come to a close, we'll see the assignments get shifted up here. Robo has got himself his Duskblade too. He is not really behind on this Aatrox. Considering the pressure he was under, he's done a decent job of a rough matchup and will be a threat in his own right in the fights, as Red now looking to make some mysterious river plays, but the vision from Loud is going to make that tricky.
Yeah, so we've got Herald spawning now and the Dragon spawning one wave later. I think the call from Loud is just to try to slow play on this mid wave, fade back to the Dragon. They don't need to take a fight right now. Remember, they're the ones that do have the scaling advantage. Root, almost on 2 items. That Nasher is nearly completed. They don't need to go crazy here, but Red, they want to force the issue and try to force Loud into a bad fight by contesting both neutral objectives. It is going to be a fight around the Herald. Envy on the side. Nice spell shield from Croc.
Croc, of course, can switch positions very quickly with the Nocturne ultimate. Massive engage with the Nico and the rail. It's a wonderful start for Loud. They remove FNB and Aegis from the equation, and Titan will shortly follow. Envy can do nothing but watch. Frosty being hunted down by the Croc turn. And Ari will survive this engagement, but no one else does.
Yeah, Envy just gonna walk it out. A charm on Robo means nothing as Loud. That was the clean play that they needed. Last game, it was Red getting a 4-for-0 around a mid-game neutral objective. This time, it's Loud as Seos finds the Magnet Storm, and the comp that wanted to fight in the mid-game has officially been demolished. Look at that flash in, and Tinones, no hesitation. Last time Loud and Red played, it was Tinones hesitating on the Nico flash, losing the fight that ultimately led to Red's comeback. This time around, Tinones does not make the same mistake.
Absolutely not. Loud, emboldened by that first game, been woken up, shaken awake perhaps by such a dominant win for Red in the first game of the day. And now they have come back, secured a much better early game for themselves. The draft is very comfortable for them. And Red will try to contest this streak. They should be able to pick up their second of the game, but the Herald's going down in mid as well. Loud's going to extend that gold lead.
Yeah, and Loud, they've got positioning in mid, but Seos needs to be careful. Here comes the fight.
Good play. Titan getting very aggressive now. He's got the Titan, now he's got the Kraken Slayer. Feels a lot better about himself, and FNB picks up the kill on Root.
Bit of a mistake from Loud again. This has definitely not been a clean game, Trajan, as overextension on mid get goaded into a fight that they can't really take. You still got to respect the burst potential of FNB and Envy. Loud, they may be in the driver's seat, but this game most certainly not over yet if Red can continue to find nice picks like that.
Certainly not a clean game so far, Hawk. You're right there. One of the grimiest early games I've ever witnessed, I think, on Summoner's Rift so far, as Robo's got a 1v4 coming his way. Red comes in. There's Flawless ult to knock up under the tower. It's a good effort for Robo, but not enough to do the job, as Titan, with a lovely flash out of range of the cock turn, will keep himself alive, but that mid turret goes down.
Loud finally gets what they came for, delayed, but it's going to be a tower and a kill. Traded for a red, so a nice, another little exchange. Red, these mid-game map movements are still pretty good. Now Envy has flash available, no Spirit Rush. I don't think Seos can get him. Aegis is here as well.
This should just be a bit of a waste of time. Roots there, with Summoners and an ultimate. They clearly want the 1 versus 2. It's a lovely Everfrost from Envy to slow them down, and Daisy can call the retreat as a TP is there. Seos probably not going to be allowed to escape, as FNB sees another juicy target to be eaten up in front of him. His 4th kill of the game, and Loud again. Bit of a misjudgment there.
This is the Loud that was inconsistent in a large majority of the split, Trajan. Their 5 losses so often not coming off of getting outplayed, but instead their own mistakes. Over-aggression after over-aggression. Loud, they can't seem to find an advantage without giving something up after the fact. They are getting flustered in this series, and Robo now over-defending. FNB can run him down, and Aegis and Envy are still here.
With the Spirit Rushes, needs to get out of those minions. Won't find range for the charm. The ults are traded 2 for 1, but that bot turret goes down. Red keeping the gold nice and close. It is a Chemtech Rift here as well, with Red once again with the full Dragon control. So they could get that massive healing tenacity that Renekton loves to play with in that clutch factor. Loves to go low HP and then pop it right back up to full with a Gore Drinker. But those Dragon fights are proving difficult. Loud in the 5v5, that's where they've been best so far this game.
They have been, in this whole series, I think, best in the 5v5. Yeah. The rotations and the decision-making has been suspect, but the team fight prowess, most certainly not. But while we do finally seem to have a slow moment in this game, Trajan, I do want to say, how good is it for the Red Canids that Envy performing to this level through the first 2 games of the series so far? He was someone that we thought hadn't been bad this split by any means, but definitely did not live up to expectation after how good he was on Furia last split, and has been throughout his entire CBLOL career. But on the Nico last game, performing exceptionally, and has been a massive clutch factor on the Ahri so far. 5-0-4, 9 out of 11 kill participation. There's a Medjais in inventory. The mid laner of Red playing calm, cool, and confident, making plays happen, and certainly keeping his team in the series so far.
Been a while since we've seen that correct build coming out. You know, points off for the Merc Treads, but they get netted off by the Medjais here. We'll give them this one. And Envy, you know, someone that we just don't talk about as much, right? And there's so many big names, so many massive plays to be made as Titan's been caught by Canids. You gotta count the minions, my guy, but it's too late for Titan as well. The full bot lane goes down. Aegis in from the flank, puts himself in danger, and it's 3 quick kills for Loud. That Baron is live. It could be gone.
Tino's heard us praising Envy, and he's like, well, I can't have that. I'm just going to stealth right in, disguised as a minion. That's the Nico moment right there, as Croc could die to this Baron, by the way. He needs some help as the rest of the team does collapse onto it, and 3 for 0. That's going to be a really easy Baron pickup for Loud. Finally, a clean play, Trajan.
This bot lane is just having an absolute shocker from Red this game. 0-8 combined.
Not good.
Really tough for them, and like, you've just... There's 4 casters, dude. Why is there one too many?
No. It's so, oh man. Look, Titan, we've all been there. He's having a bad game. You know, it's hard to stay locked in, focused when you're getting destroyed like this. 0-5-5 on the Lucian. But yeah, that's a pretty big mistake, seeing those caster minions rock up to the club. Tinones, nicely done though, creating that play, having a great game in his own right. Definitely a big part of the reason why Loud is ahead. 6,000 gold, by the way, and they do not have to contest this dragon. They have a mid wave. They have the Baron. I'm actually very surprised that they're opting into this fight. Red has the bushes set up.
Super proactive stepping forward. Seos is there with the flash, looking for potentially a similar angle. Tinone's on the flank. Out comes the Nocturne ultimate. They want to call it in, the Pop Blossom's there. Catches 3 from Tinones again. It's beautiful. It's sublime Nico play, and Root is just going wild in the backline. It's a playground for a Kai'Sa. A triple kill for Root. The Dragon stacking is stopped, and this game is just spinning out of control for Loud.
All right, Canids, I understand you want us to talk about you, not just Envy, because damn, was that a good flank. That Pop Blossom was disgusting, and maybe we got to add Nico to the problem pile this series. There's a lot of champions that are appearing to be issues, but Canids really starting to put the nails in the coffin of Red for this second game, as that flank was just god tier. That's 6,000 gold. Try 11,000 as this game has exploded.
Yeah, and it's the Magi stacks, I'm afraid, Envy. There they go. As this 5v5 went about as well as the last one for Red, honestly.
I've got to say, no matter how fed you are, it's pretty bold buying a Magi when your team is losing like this for Envy. But, I mean, there's not much else to be said. That flank from Canids was just sublime, and it completely won Red the fight. Not hard to follow up with the damage when everyone is half HP and CC'd like that. They've still got time left on the Baron as well, by the way. A 6,000 gold Baron power play. They've got a wave. They should be able to take this last outer turret, reducing Red to nothing but their base. And when that second Baron does spawn in just a few minutes, Red, they should be able to use that to end the game.
They're trying to set up in their own jungle, Red, trying to find any vision angle, but a lovely ward there
but
from Loud gives the game away. They're on to Robo, and Titan's trying to do some damage, but he actually does negative damage to Robo as Envy's pushed out as well. The rest of Loud collapse in, and this is just a bit of desperation for Red Canids. There's nothing left for them to do. A full mid-game composition. That's not won the mid-game.
You know, clearly Loud not tilted by the game one loss, nor the early game missteps, as they are really dominant here in game two. And Trajan, I've just got to be honest with you, watching Titan play this Lucian is making me sad, man. This is really depressing. P-shooter Lucian hitting on that Aatrox right there. That was...
I mean, for as much as the game as he's even been allowed to play the game, not much of the game he's actually been allowed to do what I would call playing League of Legends. Mostly just kind of watching his tower get dived for the 18th time. But yeah, it is rough on the Lucian, going for this unorthodox pick. Basically trying to just hands and skill check them across the map with the Renekton, the Ahri, the Lucian, Nautilus, and it just didn't work, right? Game one looked like it might be the way to go, but I think Red will go, all right, fine. You're Loud, you're the champions, we won't do it again, sorry, let's just call it 1-1.
And remember in the draft, Trajan, I said I wanted to see a hyper carry out of Titan this game. Be the late game insurance for your Renekton Ahri. Instead, he said, no, I'm going to slam down the Lucian, I'm going to Giga Chad this game, and I'm going to carry myself. Well, that did absolutely not work. And remember, it was Zyra in game one. Both were banned this game. Titan and Frosty not being given access to their best champions, getting exposed a little bit so far. And now I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, maybe it's just not a Lucian angle instead of they're just Zyra one tricks. But it's definitely not a good look here so far. I would rather see something like the Aphelios in game 3 if that is the option that ends up going over, because yeah, this has just been, I mean, combined 0-10 bot lane for Red. I ping my solo queue teammates when they do that, Trajan.
Okay. What about this? Hear me out. Neela. Titan Neela. Bring it back. Bring it back. IU cosplay on the double.
I don't know about that. Neela into Kai'Sa Rel sounds pretty,
yeah. It's bold,
bro thinks he's IU. Like, I don't know.
little bro. Everyone thinks he's IU. I think IU thinks he's Titan potentially. You know,
yeah,
Titan was playing the Neela before IU was even allowed to play AD carry at all in this region. So
that's a good point. I don't know, man. I think I would just rather see Titan on something that could team fight instead of any of these aggressive kind of picks, because one thing we've learned about Red is not even a champion thing. They just get dove bot a lot. If you look at their heat map on a stat site of where their pre-15-minute deaths are, a very alarming number of them are under their own bottom lane tier 1. So playing aggressive stuff and getting permadove like they did this game, maybe just not the play in general.
Oh, that hurts, man. FMB sees Robo pushing the wave in, preemptive dominus, and Robo goes, nah, I don't like this wave, actually. I'm just going to leave. See ya.
Man, and like, who is this guy? Like, you're playing against Robo. You think you could pop ult? Like, he's sure to walk up to the wave. You see gold dying in front of you. Robo on a side lane usually doesn't let that happen, but
yeah,
a rare, respectful reset, I suppose, from Robo means that nothing goes over. And by the way, while this is going on, yeah, the Baron just died.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a formality up there. Looks like Red will trade the Dragon, but it's only the Chemtech Soul Point. Not really going to move the needle for them in the next 5 minutes. But you know what might move the needle in this game is the TP into topside with a Baron push. Router looking to end the game right now.
And Tinones has himself a nice little wizardly hat. I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 recently. I'm playing a wizard. I would love a hat like that, as we also have a Nocturne ult.
Oh, the preemptive flash,
that was
man.
crazy.
It's genius by Croc. He's waking up today as Aegis without a chance to escape.
That was brutal. I mean,
yeah, was tough, man.
Croc did not have to preempt the flash at all, but he just chose to because it would be cool. And now 4v5 in the base is a TP in from Robo. You'd have to think this is going to be it. Super Minions going to be finding their way into the base next wave with the Baron buff. They might not even need them.
Seos, do it to him again, my guy. One last time for the road. Red get caught up, locked up, knocked up, and destroyed in front of their own Nexus. Loud clapping back oh so powerfully. They'll bring the series to 1-1. This is not going to be easy.
No, it is most certainly not.